Game 5 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes is the ever-important swing game. You win this one, and you put the other team on the brink. We go back to Carolina at the Lenovo Center, and the building is booming. Mike Commodore, looking like Happy Gilmore's caddy, is on the siren. He gets the Hurricanes fans pumped up, and we are ready to rock out of the gate. 7 minutes into the first period, Vegas gets a power play. Now, the special teams battle has been really important in this series. We said it in our series preview, but the real battle is going to be between the Carolina penalty kill and the Vegas power play. The Hurricanes penalty kill has just been lights out in these playoffs. They're clicking at 92%. There's only two teams in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs that have been more efficient than that. Two things make it very effective. First is face-offs. The Hurricanes, they win a ton of draws, and they held that advantage this series. As last game, they won 56% of the face-offs in Game 4, and when you win the draw on the penalty kill, it usually means you're dumping it down the ice and killing the first 15 to 20 seconds at least of the power play. But on top of that, it builds on their real strength, which is denials on the entry. Depending on the situation, they play a 3-1 or a 1-3 on the line to stack up and force plays to the wall. They've done a fantastic job in this series, but Vegas goes to the drawing board, and they need to find a way to open up Eichel for their drop back play. So here's what they do. Carolina is in good structure with 3 on the line here, but keep an eye on the Ninja Hurdle in the middle of the ice. His stick is down. He knows this pass is coming to him by design. Hurdle is going to be the quick relief option to draw in this Carolina killer for a split second. But Hurdle's still got to make a play here. So once this killer shifts his hips and goes to close the space, he's going to thread the needle like a grandma on a quiet Sunday afternoon. It goes right to Eichel, who can walk in with possession and a ton of speed. And now we got ourselves a 2-on-1. Eichel to Dorofeev on the doorstep. EA Sports, it's in the name for him. It goes in and out so fast, and it almost looked like Bussy stopped it at first, but it's in the net, and Vegas off a set entry makes it 1-0. But when Carolina has needed a big moment in this series, it has been one man that has really stepped up to the plate, and that is Jordan Staal, the captain. This guy seems like he's been playing hockey since the First World War, and all of a sudden, he's turned into Mario Lemieux in this series. And at the core of Jordan Staal's game is his physicality. He's a big boy, 6'4", 220. That element of physicality is what makes this play happen. McNabb has the puck, and Jordan Staal is the F1. Now, both the route and positioning of both him and the F2 forces this play up the wall, and what that does is it makes it predictable for the Carolina defender to read and step up on that play. So as they seal off the wall and create a turnover, Jordan Staal finishes his hit on Brady McNabb, and it causes him to lose his balance, and now he's just a split second behind the play. That gives Staal some separation to beat McNabb to the net, and this pass by Ehlers is incredible. Right onto the tape, Jordan Staal again. Servers love him because he tips everything. What a goal and what a celly. He just loves the caveman cellies. It's always a chest scream. Ah! He looks like he's ready to eat the Golden Knights. 1-1 tied game as we move on to the second. This is where the special teams comes up again, and it's the opposite of Vegas. Carolina's power play has been unbelievable in this series. Vegas plays a passive box on their PK, and I think it's a bad matchup against Carolina because they have the space on the outside to torch them on a few different options. They've burned them on the down low and a cross play, and when they leave space on the perimeter, the Jarvis one-timer on the flank has cost them as well. So here's how they leverage all of that on this one play. When the puck goes to Gostisbehere at the point, he's going to slightly move into the middle, and look at these two killers for Vegas. They begin to cheat towards Jarvis on that pass. That opens up room for Svechnikov, and now Carter Hart has seen this movie a couple times in this series, as recent as last game. And so as Svechnikov gets his touch, Ehlers flares out to set up the down low option, and Jarvis on the far flank begins to dive in. But this is a pure audible from Svech. He knows that Hart has his own guy screening him, and he decides that he's going to throw a changeup. He sends one along the ice, and there it is. That's the reminder in all of its glory to Carter Hart to close his damn legs. He's late to the reaction, and it's one hell of a read from Svechnikov to break some of the patterns that the Vegas kill has seen in this series. Carolina now has the lead. The building is buzzing, and the Hurricanes start to get in their groove. And when that happens, Vegas really struggles to handle the tenacity of their forecheck. At the end of our Game 4 video, we went over the formula for how Vegas needed to win. The number one thing they must do better was manage the puck below their own goal line. The last few games, there's been a trend of them giving away the puck below their goal line and it leading directly to a goal. So near the end of the second, Jordan Staal again, he's been playing since the Ice Age, so he keeps it simple. He's just going to throw an intelligent chip in, soft enough so that Hart can't come out and play it, and awkward enough to make it a 50-50 for his F1. And that is Jordan Martinook, who is a dog on a bone. And look at Theodore here. He goes in hesitant when retrieving this puck. Actually, by the time they reach the net, he's more focused on trying to tie up Martinook. But here's the thing about Martinook. He spends his weekends in Europe pickpocketing people. He yoinks this from Theodore. Another turnover below the goal line. It's centered out to the point, and this play is bang, bang, shrimp right to Aho. You can't give a good player a bad pass. It's in his feet, but he angles his blades so it goes right to his stick all in one motion. He lets it go, and it is money. That is a huge goal for Aho, who's faced criticism coming into this series and early on, but he's taken his game to another level here. The Hurricanes look in control going into the third with a 3-1 lead. So now Vegas is chasing the game, and halfway through the third period, Mark Stone damn near takes out Chatfield's eye. That's a 4-minute penalty. You can't do that. Get in the box, and Carolina keeps finding ways to pick apart this penalty kill. This time they do it on the entry. Take a peek at Vegas's two killers on the forecheck. They're more aggressive up ice, and so if Carolina can suck them in and make a play, they can create an on-man rush and an easy entry, and that's what they do here. It starts with Gostisbehere again, who's been unreal in this series. He's going to fake the drop pass with the Shakira hips, opens up with the 10-2. That gets the killer to hesitate just a tiny bit, and from there he takes off. It's a rush entry, and more importantly, a controlled entry, and now Vegas is out of sorts trying to close off space. Because of all that, this D now has to step up, and that opens the down low play. And now there's a gap. And this is example number 2 of you can't give a good player a bad pass. Ehlers on his backhand, spin, no look to Svechnikov with the tap in. It's a clinic, fellas. Carolina is up 4-1 with 8 minutes left in the third. But as we know, no lead is safe in this series. So 2 minutes later, Vegas makes everyone in the building start sweating bullets as Dorofeev double dips the chip to make it 4-2, where things can get interesting. But two factors here help Carolina close this game out. Number one is the bus driver himself, Brandon Bussi. A couple of huge saves when needed, especially because Carolina took a penalty at the end of the game, so it was a 6-on-4. The second is sacrifice, and that is the Stanley Cup playoffs in a nutshell. Keandre Miller rode off in New York for being soft and having an apparent average hockey IQ, but he has a huge block at the end of the game. He's hurting, but a bruise on the leg is a hell of a long way from the heart, says Herb Brooks. He then picks the puck out of the air and he puts it off the glass. What a shift, and that is it. Carolina, with probably their best game of the series on home ice, take a 3-2 series lead with a chance to win the Stanley Cup in Vegas. And now this presents a few interesting things going into Game 6. First, it seems like Brandon Bussi coming in has completely changed the whole vibe of this series for the Hurricanes. He looks confident and fresh, and I think Carolina looks a bit more comfortable with him in the crease as well. The other is Carter Hart. I said it in the last video, but now Vegas's nightmare scenario is here. He's allowed 4+ goals in every single game of this series. He's been a big reason why Vegas has made it to this point, but I think physically and mentally, he looks a bit tapped right now. And the most interesting thing out of all of this is that they still have their Stanley Cup winning goaltender in Adin Hill sitting on the bench ready to go. It would be an all-time ballsy move from Torts to start Adin Hill in Game 6 of the Cup Finals with the season on the line, especially because he hasn't played a game since April. It kind of seems like a no-win scenario, but I think he's going to stick with this guy that got him there, because when he was asked post-game if he was thinking about going to Hill in the third, it was classic Torts. He said it was the stupidest question he ever heard, and he wasn't having any of it. Now, next is Jordan Staal. This guy has been a mule for the Hurricanes. It looked like early on Marner seemed like the lock to win the Conn Smythe, but this has been a performance for the ages from the captain. I mean, he would know. He was playing the last time it happened in 1956 with Jean Beliveau. And I think as this series has gone on, Brindamore's adjustments are the difference. Aside from Bussy, the decision to break up the top line of Jarvis, Svechnikov, and Aho has given them an entirely new dynamic on offense. And for Torts, he's made it clear that he's not much of an X's and O's guy, and my concern for Vegas is that he won't make the necessary adjustments to cool off that Carolina power play and forecheck. These guys all know what they're doing, and it comes down to execution. But when you see the way Carolina picked them apart in certain areas of this game, they may need to make some slight tweaks to come out on top in Game 6. Lastly is the status of William Karlsson. He is, in my opinion, the most important player for Vegas, and it's because he slots everyone in the right spot when he's in the lineup. He got hurt in the second period, had to be taken to the hospital, and from there, the lines were in a blender. Torts tried going Eichel, Marner, and Stone. That didn't really generate much. Hurdle had to get bumped up, and then guys all of a sudden are playing minutes that they aren't used to. If he's a no-go for Game 6, it could be all over for Vegas. So, what surprised you? Who pissed you off about these games? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'm Anthony from Hockey Psychology. We do all the breakdowns on this channel, and if you want to see more just like this, check out any of the videos here and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single thing.